Hello, and welcome to Pop Goes Lethal.
Hi.
Podcast number 2.
Deuce.
It's the second in a series of indeterminate length.
I think we're going to try to do these daily, though, right?
Yeah, we're going to try to. I mean, we got plenty of, as they say, media files.
Content.
Yeah, content.
And
all of it's A+++++++ grade E-Bear.
great content, or... great content, or... shipping immediately.
You got instant shipping. Okay, this first thing we're going to play here is, it's a file that's, it was made by people of indeterminate name.
Similar to you and me.
And, you know, it could be made... What are we going to play?
How about we do $10 flowers?
Okay, we're going to do $10 flowers first.
$10 flowers. This is an extraordinary musical art piece done by a Pop Goes Lethal recording artist known as Mr. Strauss. If any of you have heard our last radio show, the Ghost of Christmas podcast, you heard some other material from Mr. Strauss. And this one is one, I guess we'd call it a song of hip-hop flavor. And it features some exquisite rapping.
You've heard of Twista, right?
When Twista was learning how to put together his mad flavor rhymes, he was constantly bumping E-Dog, Mr. Strauss,
Right,
in his boo ride.
Well, what it's like is, like, let's say you have a Twista LP, a vinyl LP of Twista.
Uh-huh.
You put it on your vinyl record player, but you turn it up to 78 accidentally. That's how fast this motherfucker's flow is.
Yeah. For you DJ enthusiasts, that's a +8 setting on your Technics 1200 MK2 turntable.
Yeah.
Okay?
I don't know what that is, but I do know this. That's fast.
It's fast as all get out.
Yeah.
Is the bottom line. And that's what we're all about.
You're going to have to listen hard because it's at 220 or 230 BPM.
Right. Although he's rapping double time, so
right.
he's going at 460.
Yeah. It sounds like this.
Yeah, he couldn't get the drum machine. The drum machine maxes out at 300 BPM, so he had to do it half time. He had to set it at 230 beats per minute. He's all, but I need to go 460, and so he just had to, you know.
And if you listen to it at regular speed, it just sounds like a hum. But if you slow it down, you realize every single word is articulated perfectly.
Yeah, we're going to slow it down just a bit for you,
so
you don't just get a straight square wave coming at you.
All right, $10 flowers on Mr. Strauss.
Here you go.
You, she, they, ripping me off. Yo, bitch, give me back my $10. I'm gonna go and buy me some flowers from the flower store, the $10 flower store, where they sell all of the flowers for $10. $10 flower store. I'm gonna buy me some flowers from the $10 flower store. I'm gonna buy me some flowers from the $10 flower store. Yeah, bitch, you better give me back my $10. I'm gonna buy $10 flowers from the $10 flower store. And I'm gonna give them to the president's wife, the first lady. Here are some $10 flowers. I bought them from the $10 flower store. You know you love them, you know you wanna marry me. I'm gonna give you some flowers, some $10 flowers from the $10 flower store. So I'm gonna give them to Laura Bush. She loves $10 flowers. 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 Ooh, Mr. Terrell, thank you for the $10 flowers that you got me from the $10 flower store. Thank you for the $10 flowers that you got me from the $10 flower store. I love my flowers. I love them. They're pretty. I love them because you're $10. I love them. $10 flower store. Ooh, make my coochie wet. What you want? What you want? What you want? One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
All right.
That was $10 Flowers
An exquisite piece, I'm sure you've determined on your own.
by Mr. Strauss there.
Yes.
This next one is a really interesting piece of audio.
What do we got coming up?
We've got the
Oh, the old show. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. This one's amazing.
Now that was that a cable, some sort of cable TV program we had?
Yeah, it was the old Pop Goes Lethal cable TV station when Charter approached us to provide some local access content, which we gladly obliged. They let us borrow their cameras. And
This was the thing though. They as part of their whole like deal with the government or something. You know how the government is.
the FCC.
They wanted us to bring in a community member from the local college to.
Yeah, it was a requirement.
So
We had
anyway,
to hire this idiot.
yeah, he was a moron, and not only was a moron, he was just a terrible interviewer to be perfectly frank.
He was, yeah.
And what's ridiculous is he expected us to hire him when he was done. Like he thought he was doing a great job, and we hooked him up with like the raddest interviewee you could ever interview. Cultural giant,
An immortal on the cultural landscape. And I mean, one plus about this guy, who I think will remain unnamed right now, because we don't want to promote this idiot.
Well, and we don't want to shame him either. I mean, we're decent folks,
Right, but I mean, he made a pass at me, and
I know.
I mean, talk about inappropriate. I mean, during a meeting with Charter Communications, he's sitting there rubbing my leg, and it just wasn't appropriate.
He was an off-duty cop too. I mean,
Well, what are you gonna do?
So the police are like that, man.
Great off-duty cop and a professor at
Yeah.
a local university.
Was he ever on duty? It's a question I never saw him in a uniform.
But he was a fan of and which all of us at PGL are big fans, as I'm sure our listeners are as well. If I understand our demographic as well as I do, and I believe that I do, and we thank you for listening.
We have sophisticated listeners. They like to listen to Negro spirituals as much as the next man.
Right, and so I'm sure you're going to be shocked to hear who our guest was. It was, in fact, Digger Digital Dan.
That's right.
And the host decided to accompany Digger Digital Dan on this tune. So, see past what you can. He actually picked up on a pretty inspired melody, I'm sure totally by accident. And
Well, I think a giant like Digger Digital Dan is gonna
it's gonna sound
that
good.
genius is gonna rub off,
You figure it has to.
So anyway, Digger Digital Dan's song here, I believe it's called Digger Digital Dan, right? The song, or
Either I'm Digger Digital Dan, or it's hard to say. Most of his words start with D.
right. Well, anyway, just listen to the song. Try to ignore the guy because whatever.
Do your best.
He doesn't represent us. Okay, that's what we're trying to get across.
He is not a Pop Goes
He
Lethal
is not
affiliated artist.
associated with us.
Right.
All right, but the song is great, and Digger Digital Dan, of course, knockout performance.
And yeah, we'd also like to thank Triple D Records for allowing us to broadcast their recording artists.
Thanks, Triple D. You guys are the best. You folks have probably heard of him. He's an icon of American popular music, an icon. His name is Digger Digital Dan.
Digger Digital Dan.
And he's a big fan of the Negro spiritual art form, and we're gonna go ahead and now I don't have the background or the training to do a Negro spiritual, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. Okay,
Yeah.
this one's called what's this one called again?
Digger Digital Dan.
All right, here we go then. out with Negro spirituals to the end.
Yeah, I like that movie called Strong. I'm digging it, Dan.
How to earn those dollars.
We're gonna
playing the banjo man. The banjo is his voice, and voices like the choices that makes you want to go. Woo! I love that old yellow. Could I be like you? Dig it a digital dance. I go up and digital dance. Got no rain touch inside of his house. Under his porch, digital dance. Oh, dig a digital Dan, won't you teach us about Americana culture? Yeah. Dig a digital Dan. Dig a digital Dan.
You don't think my
Digital Dan.
Yes,
Wonderful. Digger
Where
digital
dig
Dan.
that? What you gonna do?
It was
what you gonna do?
it was such a
What
treat.
you gonna do? Digger Dan, look.
Oh my goodness, Digger Digital Dan, it was such a treat.
No, did you not say that?
having you here on
Yeah.
our show.
No,
This is what it's all about. A real icon.
You don't say, yeah.
Yeah, he's a real icon.
Digger Dan, did I can.
Okay, that was Cancerous by Mateo Cates.
Another affiliated Pop Goes Lethal artist. Mateo Cates has a lot of good stuff
Great
that
artist.
you will hear.
Great music.
All around swell guy.
Yeah, good guy.
Maybe we could even convince him to pop into the studio sometime
We
soon.
might be able to. I hear he plays racquetball near at Barnes Park over there.
Does he?
Yeah, so maybe if we go there during the day, he's always wary of the autograph hounds.
Oh yeah.
But if we sneak up on him and tie him up and throw him in the bag, maybe we can.
Careful, he's into his racquetball.
Yeah, he is.
So you don't want to sneak up on him when he's in a well-matched racquetball game. Which I mean, usually he's the dominant player on the team. Which is funny. You wouldn't take him for an athletic type.
Well, it's because he only plays little kids.
Is that it? See, I gotta stop listening to the story.
He's bullshits about it. He says like he's the world's greatest racquetball player. He never loses a match. He's playing against 6-year-olds.
I thought he talked too much about racquetball.
Well, if you tell him that, he'll say that's not possible to talk too much about racquetball. But
I've heard that from him before.
just put him in a room, get him to do some art, and as soon as he's done, get him the fuck out of there, or else you're gonna hear a lecture about racquetball. Yeah. Anyway, what we got coming up next?
Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, Eddie Van Halen, right?
By,
not the guy.
No, it's a song called Eddie Van Halen. The artist is Computadora, and this is a song that's highly studio in nature. Features a lot of background vocals featuring Computadora and Computadora alone, I believe. It's also
there's also I know Brian Moran's vocals.
I was getting to Brian.
You were.
Brian Moran does not provide vocals, but I was actually there during the recording process, and Brian Moran provides all of the instrumental accompaniment that sees Computadora through the musical journey known as Eddie Van Halen.
I see.
So
he played the instruments, but he didn't write the song.
It was a collaborative effort. Computadora came to Brian in a time of need and said, "Brian, I have these melodies.
Can you make them live?"
Yeah, can you make it live through your fingers?" And as Brian's reached towards Computadora, no. And Computadora put a keyboard in between him and Brian's reach, and immediately musical inspiration followed.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because the way Brian tells it, there was some hugging.
I didn't see any hugging.
You didn't see any hugging. I heard that there was some caressing.
Well, as soon as Brian started reaching towards Computadora, I was closing my eyes and just kind of, oh God, what's happening?
Well,
and until I heard the music, I was like, oh. And so if any hugging happened, it was over with my.
I'm just glad I wasn't there. Right.
And we share it with you, and that's what we're doing here.
Okay, so this is Eddie Van Halen by Computadora, with an assist on the play from Brian Moran, and also there's some vocals by Kono in there, isn't there? In the chorus? No.
Oh, wait a minute! You are right. There is a chorus. Oh, and you're absolutely right. In fact, hip hop luminary Lex.
I'm telling you, it tears the fucking roof off the place.
Yeah, Level X, great artist. And so Miss Kono, aka Intimate Moments from Computadora All the Way Live.
Right.
We have Brian Moran, we have Computadora himself, of course. We have Level X, and all of them do share some time in the spotlight as the chorus proceeds.
Eddie Van Halen by
Computadora.
Computadora.
On my way home, under control, rabid with envy, taking suburbia out to look for my spoon with Eddie Van Halen. Satan is everywhere, but hey baby, be nice to me, 'cause I sure could use some sympathy. I'm sleeping and too far from home, so I'm sending you this special poem. But hey baby, be nice to me, 'cause I sure could use some sympathy. I'm sleeping and too far from home, so I'm sending this special. Robbing my home, savings and loans, seem gravid and stingy. Shaking my debit card out, I look for my spoon, these guardian angels. red berets everywhere.
Hey baby, be nice to me, 'cause I sure could use some sympathy. I'm sleepy and too far from home, so I'm sending you this special poem. Hey baby, be nice to me, 'cause I sure could use some sympathy. I'm sleepy and too far from home, so I'm sending you this special
Now let's say there's a person out there, and they ask the following question. Well, it seems to me that, based on what I've heard from your perspective on things, that a person who's trying to make music, if they want to be great, they basically have to just sort of get out of the way. They have to just go with their inspired ideas as they're intended to be, and learn how to interface with those ideas as best they can, and then, implement them as truly as possible and stuff, blah, 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 blah. But of course, that presumes that you have really inspired ideas to get out of the way for. But what if you're somebody who really doesn't seem to have brilliant ideas, any chance of achieving greatness? Because by this methodology, it's not like there's anything one can do to be great actively. In fact, one would have to. That would just make it worse, it would seem. So answer that question.
Well, I mean, it would depend. It would depend if greatness was the. Is the reason that you're doing music to achieve greatness?
Well, let's say that's a goal that's very, very important to me.
Okay. Then I would say that it's important to get out of the way as much as you could, just to see what would happen. If I don't have enough data right now to say if anybody can be the receiver of the great melodies. So I really don't know.
What do you think generally about the idea that, like, if you take a bunch of random people and they all approach the artistic process perfectly, let's say you have 50 people and they approach the artistic process exactly right in every aspect, or are perfect in their thinking, are some of them going to still be consistently failures?
It's a good question. I really don't know.
I don't know what the sound effects we're going to use, but...
Okay.
Okay, but anyway, what we're doing here, let me explain. What you just heard was an art conversation between two employees of PGL that are a couple of Pantheonic scholars that are employed by the company.
Ricky and Tony.
We like to keep on staff Pantheonic scholars because, Publicly is a Pantheonic corporation. We do have a moral underpinning or something. I don't know what we call it.
Do.
A philosophical underpinning to the company,
Well, I mean, I think more accurately a religious.
Well, yeah,
underpinning.
religious one, sure. But I mean, we don't want to turn off the less religious listeners because not everybody. We're not the fundamentalist Pantheonics, the kind who say we need to go back to the time of robotic mind when nobody could have any emotions and they want to pass laws like. Punishment for happiness, punishment for sadness, whatever. We're not that kind of Pantheonians.
We are aware of the truth inherent within Pantheonic scripture, and our initial guidance when forming Pop Goes Lethal was necessarily a byproduct.
Everyone here at Pop Goes Lethal believes, I think that conversation may have been an analysis of the Book of Robotic Mind, which, believe it or not, these fuckers have actually read that thing. So,
and let me tell you, that's a dry read.
It's like
translated directly from binary.
Yeah, it's miserable. I don't know if you've ever tried to read it before, but
it's like War and Peace.
Oh my God, Rigoberto Relighetti has got to be the worst writer in the history of the world.
Well, he was channeling.
Yeah, well,
he was channeling pre-creator.
But authorship is a gift of the Pantheon, and we cannot. We're not supposed to. It's okay to say he wrote it because that's it's a conceit that the Pantheonic gods gifted us. So. But let's not. We're not supposed. We're not trying to get into that conversation.
Too preachy gospel, man.
Preachy again. Thank you. I am. Well, you started it. The reason those sound effects you heard, probably, once we record them, which we're going to do in a second, those are there to indicate, like, okay, that's a conversation between Ricky and Tony. People have pointed out their voices, they sound kind of like me and Corey.
You're right. And also, it was recorded in the same ambient space.
And
so
not a whole lot
room,
like us. They don't sound a ton like us, but...
Right.
But, you know, we just wanted to make sure there wasn't any confusion.
Right. So we wanted to basically separate it. And so, you know, we figured this kind of... Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's the okay.
And then this could be the post seed, in which case this is somewhat redundant. You've already heard this. Because, you know, earlier we already talked about. In the future, when we record it, we will have already talked about in the past. You know?
Right, absolutely.
I see we're out of time. Looking at the old clock in my brain.
That's our sponsor tapping on the door.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks a lot for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the music and the conversation and the other crap.
Right.
And we're going to leave you today with a work from one of our apprentice artists. We occasionally like to just sort of show you what the future has in store. There's an apprentice artist at Pop Goes Lethal named MC Bobo D. She's not a full-fledged Pop Goes Lethal artist or anything, but I think you'll see that there's
clearly on her way there.
Yeah, there's some talent there, and so good luck to her, and, you know, just keep true to the church way. Blah, 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 and at the end.
Enjoy.
This is my story. It's by Lila, called The Wandering Dog. This dog fainted on a rainy day, and it died on that rainy day. When it fainted, it died, that little dog. So, he got a new dog in the backyard. These are flowers. Make sure they stay okay. You know what this is? It's a little thing so when we pray, that little thing hears it and it tells it to the dog. And here's the graveyard and that little dog.